Well, Deb, Cathie, thank you both so much for being a guest in this Customer Highlight podcast. Super grateful for the two of you and excited to dive in a little bit deeper. But you guys have been amazing customers, amazing people. We've had some fun times together in multiple different states. And so I'm proud to have you guys on this podcast. So if you guys wouldn't mind opening with like, who are you? What do you do? Would love just to hear a little bit more about you two as individuals.
Sure, I'll jump in. Matt, thanks for having us.
Of course.
Deb Tallo, I'm the Chief Human Resource Officer here at the Gateway Region YMCA. Been here for about 8 years and I'm super excited to be a part of this today.
Hi, and I'm Cathie Degler. I'm the Vice President of Human Resources. I've been with the Gateway region in the St. Louis area for about 2.5 years, and I have a special focus on hiring in my role. So, really excited to talk about Wedge.
Yeah, I love that. So, all right, it's probably common knowledge for most people to know what a Y is or YMCA. But there's so much behind the scenes that I've had the chance just to get to know a little bit more, and certainly learning from you guys. Would you mind just sharing like what does it mean to work for a Y? What do people not really understand? What's sort of behind the curtains? Because there's so much that's involved in the amazing brand that the Y is, and you guys live it and breathe it every day. So, would love just to hear a little bit more about what that looks like on a day-to-day basis, and maybe some things that most people from the outside perspective wouldn't know about the Y or what it's like to be involved in it.
Sure, Kathy, you want to take that first?
Sure. So the YMCA is a wonderful mixture of what people think of when they think of gym and swim, combined with a community organization, nonprofit that really is here to serve all. So if you think of a, traditional healthy living fitness center, that's the Y. But also, if you think of a community center that meets its community's greatest needs, whether it be child care, connecting older adults to fight loneliness, or even combating food insecurity, the Y truly is there to serve community needs.
I love that. I love that. Deb, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I was just going to say a lot of people don't know that the Y is a 501c3 nonprofit. And so that I think is really important when we do a lot of our campaigns. Our annual campaign, for example, goes to help support kids that need a place to go in the summer or families that can't afford a membership. It goes to help support those so that no family is turned away. We're able to serve all of those folks in our community. And one of the things that Kathy hit on was food insecurity. And we do a lot around community gardens and all kinds of things. We give away tons and tons of food and fresh produce each year. So some of those things are things that you wouldn't think about as a Y because you think of them as a gym and swim. But, we have literacy programs, we have underwater robotics, we have STEM and STEAM and all of those cool kinds of things for kids, not only in the summer, but also throughout the school year.
Yeah, I mean that's the perfect perfect understanding of obviously there's the gym component, but then there's the whole community component that I think
Mhm.
probably not a lot of people know all the depths of it. So that's amazing. So one of the things I've been super impressed by your group is that you guys manage a lot of Ys. There's like a lot that goes into not just the brand that Y is, but also the management component to it. So I guess from a back office operation standpoint, what is it that makes you guys unique, special? You guys 26 branches sort of under management, is that correct?
Yeah, when you include our resident camp and lodge facility, it's about 26.
Which is, I mean, that's a big organization, and so that takes a lot of work, a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of amazing talent like the two of you. So what makes it special? What makes it unique? How have you guys kind of gone about doing this?
I think one of the things that makes us unique is our inclusive abilities programs, and around inclusive and adaptive fitness. So, super excited. Next Tuesday, we are opening or doing the ribbon cutting for the Paul Goldschmidt Adaptive Sports Complex, at one of our branches here in St. Louis. And RY is has one of the largest inclusive and adaptive fitness programs of Ys in the country. We've had this for many, many, many years, and we serve so many kids with physical and mental needs in our community. And so we're super excited to have that happening next week.
Awesome. Sweet. So one of the other things too I wanted to kind of highlight is you guys have been certainly early adopters, but amazing users of Wedge, which we're very grateful for on many, many levels. Would love to hear a little bit more about how Wedge has been a product, a part of your hiring, and how you guys have gone about using it. Would love just some more thoughts and kind of a little bit better understanding of that.
Kathy, I'll set this up and then I'll flip it to
Okay.
you. So when I came to the Y 8 years ago, we have always had struggles with getting folks through the hiring process. And so most recently, we did some study basically to see how long was it taking our hiring managers to connect with candidates. And what we found was it was taking them 5 to 7 days to get back with a candidate. And you all know we're dealing with anywhere from 15-year-olds up to 100-year-olds that we employ. And so obviously some are
Which,
more
by the way,
technically.
the Y has to cover the widest range of all hiring. I mean,
Exactly.
that's pretty unique for that.
It
maybe
is pretty cool.
maybe
It is
maybe
pretty
a golf course. That would be the only other exception I could think of that would cover that range.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And so what we were finding was we were losing candidates. Obviously, if you're not getting back to them for 5 to 7 days, they've moved on to the next opportunity that is available. And so what we looked at was through my partner in crime, Carol Parks at Suncoast. She introduced us to Wedge. And, through our partnership with you all, we've been able to make this a pretty seamless transition um, with our HRIS platform, UKG, being able to get it incorporated into what the managers see without them going into another system has been really monumental. And it's really been a game changer in terms of how we connect with candidates in the initial stages of their application. So, Kathy, I'll let you kind of talk about how we've rolled it out and some of the benefits
Yeah.
we've seen.
Yeah, Deb mentions the benefits to the candidate, right? The candidate hears from us quickly and stays engaged in our hiring process with Wedge, which is not something that we had before. But then on the hiring manager side, what this brings to the hiring manager is so many benefits. The first one that we saw right away is the questions that candidates are answering in Wedges almost always eliminates the need for a phone screening because they're able to tell you some things that might be major deal breakers from the beginning. One example is a 15-year-old applied for a lifeguarding position, and the lifeguarding position at that time was hours that 15-year-olds aren't allowed to work. And when that individual got on Wedge and mentioned that he was 15, we already knew, unfortunately, we can't consider him for that job. We might have another opportunity for him, but that really helped us kind of speed up some of the screening and background information that we need to pull from candidates. And then also another thing it did for our hiring managers is it really helped them prioritize who are our most serious candidates, right? So if we see a Wedge, we know the person is engaged, we know they've made a solid effort, and we know that they're actually interested at showing up for an interview and work. We say this at our Wedge rollouts all the time. How many times has a hiring manager had a candidate ghost them, right? They call, you just never hear from them again. And then you think, why did they even apply for this job if they're not going to call me back? Well, that Wedge is a great way to really kind of let the priority candidates rise to the top. And typically, you see with those who are willing to put the effort of a Wedge in, they're your candidates who are going to show up to that interview, who are going to complete all the steps in the hiring process, and who you're going to see on day one of employment. So, really, between eliminating some of that screening time and helping our hiring managers understand who to prioritize. Those are two huge benefits that Wedge has helped us with in hiring.
I love that. And number one, that's it's one of the I think coolest things about working with you guys is each time we've had a conversation, we've learned something new, both about challenges that you guys have faced. I mean, Deb, you alluding to candidate, it might take you a couple weeks to get back to a candidate early on in the process. I mean, that's something that we didn't even think as a challenge. And so getting that feedback from you guys, and it's great to hear that we're potentially a solution to that. But it's been really really awesome to learn quite a bit from you guys, and hopefully we're building a continuous partnership in all of this. So that's great. Well, those are the three questions that I had. Cathie, Deb, anything else you want to leave the audience with?
I would just say we're looking at how can we further expand this partnership. So one of the other things that's unique to the Y is we are accredited through a child abuse prevention organization called Presidium, and not only do we need to do this for our hires, but we also need to do this for our volunteers. And so we're looking at opportunities to expand our Wedge platform here at Gateway into our volunteer management system as well, and incorporate that into that process. So we're super excited about where we are, where we've come. I know you guys are doing some data analysis for us. And we're excited to see what that looks like, and excited to see where this takes us.
Us too. Cathie, anything else?
Nope, thank you for having us today.
Yeah, of course. Well, Deb, Cathie, thank you to the two of you for being on this podcast. But more importantly, thank you for just being amazing people that we get a chance to work with. And it's easy to wake up and get out of bed for the chance to work with folks like you. So we're very proud of our partnership and excited about this. But thanks again for being a guest on this podcast, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.